I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, our Waterworks Board consists of 3 town council members, Councilman Schmidt and myself. Councilwoman Robin Arvanitis is absent this evening. Okay, first item, minutes of the November 18th, 2020 meeting. Pleasure of the board.
So moved.
And a second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Passes 2-0. Claims, Mr. Troxel. Any more claims?
No additional claims, Mr. President. So move on claims.
And a second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
2-0. Reports from staff?
No reports.
Mr. Schmidt?
None.
Okay. We have no old business, we have no new business. Any business from the floor regarding Waterworks? Any business from the floor regarding Waterworks? Any business from the floor? This meeting is adjourned. Mr. Troxel, I was
Mr.
remiss in asking you for roll call for the Waterworks Board.
Yes, sir. Kevin Conley,
Present.
Thomas Schmidt, here. Caleb Johnson,
Present.
Rob Getzloff,
Present.
Attorney David Austin,
Present.
Fire Chief Robert Patterson, Deputy Chief, Fire Chief David Myers, excuse me. Police Chief Pete Sormas, here. Deputy Police Chief Jeff Cook, here. John Novacich, Park Superintendent, here. Neil Simstad, Nice Engineering, here. Jeff Hewitt, Public Works Director, here. Jim Gorman, Director of Operations, here. Robert Volkman, Town Manager, here. Robin Teal, Recording Secretary, and Mike Troxel, Clerk Treasurer, here.
Thank you. So call to order the Redevelopment Commission meeting for Wednesday, December 9th, 2020. The time now is 7:04. For the Redevelopment Commission, we'll add Councilman Caleb Johnson and Councilman Rob Getzloff. Minutes of the November 18th, 2020 public meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 4-0. Claims, any additional claims, Mr. Troxel?
No additional claims, Mr. President.
Motion to approve. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Passes 4-0. Any reports from staff for redevelopment?
No reports.
Council members?
Nope.
No.
We have no old business or new business. Any business from the floor regarding redevelopment commission? Any business from the floor? Any business from the floor? Hearing none, this meeting is adjourned.
I'd like to call to order the Utility Board meeting for Wednesday, December 9th, 2020. We'll accept the roll call from the redevelopment. Minutes of the November 18, 2020 public meeting. Pleasure of the board.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Any additional claims, Mr. Troxel?
No additional claims, Mr. President.
Pleasure of the board.
So move on claims.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Any reports from staff?
No reports.
Council members?
No, sir.
None.
There is no old business or new business, so I will take any business from the floor regarding utilities. Any business from the floor? Any business from the floor? Hearing none, this meeting is adjourned. We'll now go on to the town council meeting.
Good evening. I'd like to call the town council meeting for Wednesday, December 9th at approximately 7:06 p.m. The roll call will stay the same as the utility board. First item on the agenda is the minutes from the November 18th public meeting.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 4-0. Claims. Any additional claims, Mr. Troxel? No additional claims, Mr. President.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion. We have a second on claims. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 4-0. Reports. Mr. Volkman. No reports. Mr. Simstead. Chief Sormas from the Police Department. Deputy Chief Jeff Cook.
Parks Department, John Novosich.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President.
These are
I just want to thank the council
For their support this year with our projects that we're able to get completed. It's been a crazy year, but looking back at 2020, we were able to get the construction of the Pensy Phase 2 and 3 completed, able to start the acquisition and the design of Phase 4. We've paved Plum Creek Trail, Stevens Park Trail, the Erie Lackawanna Trail. So overall, we've had over 5 miles of trails paved this year. We completed the Roman Park Ball Field Complex renovation, and we're working on arranging tournaments for next year. We have a couple possible regional tournaments set up for that, so we're excited about that. And we completed Saratoga CDBG project with new playground and ADA improvements. And besides all that, we had some pretty good events this year. We had the Rhythm and Rock concerts at Reeder Park, and thank you to all the departments that helped with that, the fireworks at Rorman, and then we had our largest craft show last month with 175 vendors, which don't know how we'd be able to pull it off this month, but overall there were some positives, so thank you for your support and thank all the departments for their support.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Novosich.
Thank you, John.
And thank your staff. Thank your staff for all the hard work that you've done on that.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
If I may, hey, John, I know you had at your last time we talked about possibly having a joint meeting with the council and the park board, talk about future projects for the park department. What does your schedule look like for possibly doing that sometime in January?
I mentioned that to the park board last meeting. We didn't establish a date. We did schedule a study session prior to the park board meeting on January 6th, but you know, we did mention that there'd be another joint study session. So we need a date. I think Caleb, you were on the meeting, but there wasn't I don't know if you had mentioned a date or not.
I did not mention a date, but we did talk about later in the month of January to have that joint meeting. We just need to coordinate a date with the park board and us.
All right, we'll work on their availability, John.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Chief Patterson, Fire Chief. Assistant Fire Chief Dave Meyer.
No report, sir.
Public Works Director Jeff Hewitt.
No report.
Operation Manager Jim Gorman.
No reports.
Attorney Austin, do you have anything?
Nothing.
Mr. Troxel.
Nothing to report, Mr. President.
Thank you. Board members.
I do not.
I had one brief letter that I do want to read, and Jeff's going to let me, I guess, take this by the horn here. But really, this work has a lot to do with our public works, and Jeff and his staff and Andy has worked on this. But we were awarded our second part of our community crossing grant from the state of Indiana for our paving and stuff. And the letter is addressed to the town of Schererville. Mr. Schmidt, the Indiana Department of Transportation has completed a review and selection of projects and funding for the 2020-2 Community Crossings Matching Grant Fund. Your community has preliminarily been awarded $155,041.95 in the Community Crossings Matching Grant Fund based upon your estimates from your project application. NDOT will be transmitting an award letter in the upcoming weeks. The community crossing matching funds, which are administered by NDOT, will be used for the funding up to 50% of the construction of your project or the purchase of materials. These grant dollars will enable you to help build and improve Indiana's infrastructure. The state of Indiana looks forward to partnering with all Hoosier communities, both urban and rural, to invest in road and bridge infrastructure projects. Improvement to local roads and bridges will bring about economic development, create jobs, and strengthen local transportation networks for all of Indiana. Sincerely, Eric Holcomb, the Governor of Indiana, and Joe McInnes, the NDOT Commission. Mr. Hewitt, just a brief comment to let the public know how they came up with the $155,000.
We were
we submitted just a little bit under the maximum amount allowed for our 2020-1 submittal. When we bid those projects, they came in about 150,000 below what we anticipated they would, and we were able to supplement with a second 2020-2 application in which we were able to fill the gap between the 855,000 that we had already gotten or the 845,000 to bring it up to $1 million. So our award for the year of 2020 is pretty darn close to being maxed out for the $1 million that the program allows as a maximum.
Thank you, Mr. Hewitt. And once again, thank you for you guys, all your work on that.
And I will just take a quick moment to thank Andy Hansen for all his diligent work on that. He's the one who took the bull by the hands and, or took the bull by the horns and made that happen this time.
Thank you. Any other comments from council members?
No, sir.
No. Okay, we'll move on. And I do want to make one announcement. I do recognize some of the people in the audience that might have been here after the Planning Commission to discuss the Cannon Creek project off of Burr Street, and that will not be on the agenda tonight. So that will be discussed at the January meeting on January 20th. At this time, I'll open public comments regarding agenda items. Are any public comments regarding any agenda items? No public comments. We'll move right into old business. We have no old business. We'll move into new business. First item is the public hearing. Public hearing on Ordinance 1960. A proof of publication. Mr. Austin, is everything in order?
Legals are in order, Mr. President.
Okay, it's ordinance 1960, an ordinance providing for reduction in appropriations in general, ambulance, cumulative capital improvements, park and recreation, drainage, motor vehicle highway funds of the town of Schererville for the year 2020, and all matters related thereto. Mr. Truxell, do you want to explain this, and then I'll open it to the floor after you explain it?
Yes, Mr. President, this ordinance before you is something that gets done annually. It's identifying the appropriations in our 2020 budget, current year budget, and making reductions in those appropriations to help benefit the 2021 budget that we've applied for. So this will help in any reductions there. We did apply for higher dollars in the 2021 budget, knowing we'll have to reduce. This will help in the reduction of that reduction that we'll get notice on very shortly here.
And then, Mr. Truxell, this is an annual thing that we do.
Correct. Yes.
Thank you very much. At this time, I'd like to open it to the floor. Any public comment on Ordinance 1960? Any public comment? No public comment. I'll close it to the public and bring it back to the board.
Mr. Chairman, motion to approve ordinance number 1960.
Second.
We have a motion and we have a second. All in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries 4-0. Thank you.
Need to adopt?
Mr. Austin, can we adopt?
You may.
Second.
We have was that a motion, Mr. Conley?
Motion to adopt.
Okay, thank you.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. Item B is ordinance 1961, an ordinance amending the town of Schererville Comprehension zoning ordinance number 1797 by amending regulations of tobacco shops, hookah lounges, electronic cigarette vapor product shops. This came to us from a planning commission favorable recommendation of 6-1.
Mr. President,
Mr. Austin.
this item is not quite ready. Your Plan Commission did conduct a public hearing, did certify a favorable recommendation, and did transmit a resolution with that certification. There's some minor tweaks and adjustments that are being worked on. This is an item that is advised to be on your next public meeting agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Austin.
Mr. President,
Mr. Conley.
given the minor revisions that need to take place, I move to defer Ordinance 1961 until the December 30th Town Council meeting, which will be, I believe, at 6 p.m.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second to defer this to the December 30th meeting, which is the last meeting of this year. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. Item C is consider variance of use to allow microblading services, cosmetic tattooing. This came from the BZA case number 20-11-28, proposed microblading boutique. Petitioner is Jessica Rivera. Location is 222 US 41. This came from a favorable BZA recommendation of 5-0. Mr. Volkman?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Rivera actually has a location in Schererville now, and she's planning on moving to 222 US 41 to a new location. She has a variance in her existing location, but needed to reapply for the new location. It's the same business model that was approved in the past, and I believe she's here today. She's here tonight if you have any questions, but this had a public hearing at the BZA and comes to you with a favorable recommendation. My recommendation is for you to approve this tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Volkman.
Mr. President, I had attended the public hearing on the, at the Plan Commission level and, or the BZA level, I apologize. And I just wanted to make sure that when we are approving this, and I intend to make a motion after this to approve this, I want to make sure that the motion is limited to Ms. Rivera and for the purpose of microblading services, cosmetic tattooing only, not other tattooing or tattoo removal services, and just for that purpose. So I just want to present that to you guys and make sure you guys were aware that that's the motion that I would like to do as far as approving this variance of use to allow microblading services, cosmetic tattooing only, and not any other tattooing or tattoo removal services. BZA case number 20-11-28, proposed microblading boutique, petitioner Jessica Rivera, location 222 US 41, favorable BZA recommendation 5-0, adopting all the findings of fact that the BZA recommended or referred to us in their findings.
I second that.
Thank you. We have a motion, we have a second to approve. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 4-0. Item D is consider variance of use to allow the western rear 100 feet and southern 73 feet of the existing building to be used as a two-story inside storage facility. The total first floor area of the variance equals 39,267 square feet, and the second floor above that area only will be the same. The remaining eastern front portion of the existing building will keep its unmodified C3 zoning, primarily for retail space. The retail space will have 272 feet of the storefront of the eastern elevation and be 65 feet in depth, or 17,773 square feet total. This was BZA case 20-11-29, proposed inside storage facility and retail space. The petitioner was Nova Grota Properties LLC, location 1516-1530 US 41. It came with an unfavorable BZA recommendation of 5-0. I have a letter to be presented for this case, and the letter was addressed to Mr. Volkman and Mrs. Sulik. On behalf of the Nova Grota Properties LLC, I thank the town and the town administration for working with my client for the two petitions it filed to locate an extra space storage facility in the town of Schererville. Based on input received from the Board of Zoning Appeals at this latest hearing, it is clear that the town does not support such a use at this location at this time. Although we are still convinced that the town, the surrounding building occupants, and the town residents would benefit significantly from this new type of facility, we are deciding not to proceed forward with this particular project at this time. Nova Grota Properties LLC will explore other potential projects. We will not be attending the town council meeting this evening in light of the decision not to proceed forward with this particular project. Once again, thank you for your courtesy of listening to the proposal and considering the benefits of the town and the town residents. Thank you for this and the past courtesies. Very truly yours, Greg Bauer from Kerensky, Bauer, and Pracky, PC. Mr. Austin, we should still take a vote on this, even though they withdrew, to finalize this, correct?
Yes, based upon applicable law, it is appropriate for you to consider final action, notwithstanding the letter request and information you just received.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Getzlaw?
motion to deny BZA case 20-11-29.
Second.
Mr. President, may I suggest the motion include, based upon the proceedings had before the Board of Zoning Appeals, the certification that was made by the board with any findings and conditions set forth therein.
Onto my motion.
So with it being an unfavorable recommendation, should the motion be would be yes to that motion, to that recommendation?
You are the quasi-judicial body making the decision. You received an advisory recommendation from your Board of Zoning Appeals. Your action is dispositive. It should be to approve or to deny.
And Mr. Getzlaw, you have a motion on the floor to deny?
Right, to deny.
Deny the
Second.
we have a motion, we have a second to deny. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. Thank you. Item E is consider request to allow employees to carry over to an additional 5 days of vacation from the year 2020 to 2021 due to extenuating circumstances with the town manager approval. Mr. Volkman.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I've had a few employees who had to cancel trips this year and were not able to use some of their vacation time, and they've, instead of trying to burn all their time to the end of the year, they've asked if they could extend those days or carry them over to next year. Currently, our personnel policy allows me to let an employee carry over 5 days of vacation, and I'm asking for your consideration to extend that just for this year, that they be allowed to carry the maximum of 10 days over.
I have a question on it. Do we ask them or give them a certain time period that they need to take that extended pay or extended time off?
They have to use it within the year, so they can carry over 5 days from 1 year to the next under the current policy. I'm asking you to extend that to a maximum of 10 days because some people just weren't able to use it because of COVID. They weren't traveling or taking that time, or they had to cancel trips that they had planned, and they plan on rescheduling those at a later date.
Thank you.
Make for a tougher year scheduling employees, but
It has been. It's been, year's been hard on everybody, and I think this is a reasonable accommodation.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item F is release a 2-year maintenance irrevocable letter of credit number CL7517LC in the amount of $89,665.50 and insurance of certificate of release. This was on the Waterford Place subdivision. Mr. Volkman.
This is a standard procedure that we do when a subdivision closes out. Their 2-year maintenance period is over. This releases their maintenance bond and is final acceptance of the development to the town of Schererville.
and what maintenance is this guaranteeing for the roads and
The
sidewalks
public
and things?
improvements. Yeah, they basically 10% of the value of the public improvements is held for 2 years after the streets, sewers, and everything go in. So they Typically, there's an inspection procedure that we go through. Any repairs that are needed are made by the developer. The developer would fail to make those, we would call the bond and make those repairs ourselves.
And we've done that inspection, everything's been certified.
We've done the inspection, Public Works has done that inspection and there were some repairs that needed to be done, but those have been addressed.
Mr. President?
Mr. Johnson.
Motion to approve release of 2-year maintenance surety irrevocable letter of credit number CL7517LC in the amount of $89,665.50 and issuance of a certificate of release per the recommendation of our town manager based upon the inspection and approval of repairs and condition of the property.
Second.
We have a motion and we have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. Thank you. Item G is consider acceptance of donations of $3,465.24. Mr. Troxel, would you like to read those for us?
I'd be happy to. Into the donation fund for the Park Department, Jim Ninjas donated $1,000. To the donation fund for the Schererville Animal Control, we received from Chewy.com an in-kind donation totaling $179.98. Amazon.com in-kind donation miscellaneous supplies, $137.26. For a total of in-kind donations to the Animal Control, $317.24. Schererville Police Department donation, Lakai Hardy had a monetary donation to the Animal Control of $65. Total Animal Control donations, including monetary and in-kind, $382.24. To the K-9 donation fund, Chico's Clothing Retailer donated, had a $83 donation. Donation to the Fire Department, Kathleen and James Ninjas, $1,000. Donation to the Police Equipment Fund, Kathleen and James Ninjas donated $1,000. Total in-kind donations, $317.24. Monetary donations, $3,148. Total donations for the month of November, $3,465.24.
Thank you, Mr. Troxel.
Motion to accept $3,465.24.
Second.
We have a motion and we have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. At this time, I'd like to open the business from the floor. Any comments or from the floor? I do want to recognize our state representative is in the building, Mr. Hal Slager. Nice to see you.
Well, our Lake County Commissioner.
Commissioner here?
Oh, and our Lake County Commissioner is in the audience, Mr. Tippy. Any other business from the floor? No business from the floor. This meeting's adjourned. Have a good holiday and a nice Christmas.